Titanfall 2. It's my favorite video game ever. I replayed it countless times, whether that be playing the campaign, multiplayer, or even Frontier Defense. And when I went to replay it most recently, I decided to challenge myself. I wanted to see if it was possible to beat Titanfall 2 with melee only. The rules are simple. The only form of damage I am allowed to deal is from punching or executions, so melees. I'm not allowed to shoot any weapons or use any abilities that inflict damage. However, any utility or blocking abilities are fair game. In cases of the Vortex Shield, I am allowed to use it to soak up damage, however, I am not allowed to use it for damaging enemies. You could say the Scorch Shield is a form of melee, however, I will not use it for damage. I'm allowed to use AI to aid me in fighting, it's fair game. If there's a specific mechanic I use, I'll bring it up. And no major skips. Anyways, let's get this challenge started. We start the game aboard the James McAllen being trained by our teacher Captain Lastimosa. To be honest, getting into the gameplay and even the beginning of the tutorial, nothing really interesting happens, so I'm just going to fast forward a little bit till we encounter our first roadblock.
Time to hit the range.
Wait, what did he say?
Load your weapon.
Maybe all I have to do is reload. Nope. There's not much I can do. I'm quite literally forced to shoot the targets. I even tried to melee them to see if that would work, but I can't even reach the first target. There's an invisible barrier that blocks them off, and it sends me back to my original shooting spot. I have no choice but to... Is this really it? Is the challenge already over? Nah, the pilot gauntlet I consider as a tutorial. We're forced to shoot. I won't count this towards the actual challenge, but if you do think it counts, then I was forced to shoot 10 times. 5 for the targets, and then 5 more times for the targets as they reset, and you're forced to shoot them with another weapon. You don't have to shoot any more times during the tutorial. In fact, during the actual gauntlet part, you can just punch the grunts.
Speed is paramount. You must also hit your target.
This was the time I got, by the way. I only attempted it once because this video is going to take a long time to do. If you can get a better try than this, then go tell me down in the comments below. Anyways, on to the first real level, BT-7274. After the extremely long intro, we crash land onto the planet Typhon and the real challenge begins. I kinda just speed through this section and punch a few specters blocking my way till I get crushed by a Tone Titan and a cutscene plays of Captain Lastimosa saving me.
You wake up. Lastimosa, hostile Titans inbound.
Then I watch him get stumped by the INC. As I wake up from being knocked out, I realize I'm being eaten by angry pit bulls, but luckily Animal Control is there to save me. I walk over to thank him, but he loses his lunch and just spits out oh wait, no, that's Captain Lastimosa. Turns out he's dying and transfers his Titan and his jump kit to me before passing away. Anyways, now the fun begins. The game really begins here. We get our senses and start getting all of our abilities. Cloak is going to be extremely handy in this challenge, as I'm going to need it to use stealth to avoid as much gunfights as I can. Because if I'm caught in one, I'll most likely be dead. The first mission kind of plays normally. It's just we can't really shoot anything. We go out and steal a perk from the source and insert it into BT. He wakes up but then falls to the ground asking us to bring him another one or he's gonna crash out. We speed through and grab the second perk, and when we get back to BT, it turns out some crackheads are trying to siphon his perk from him. Instead of punching them to death, I decide to bribe them with the good stuff and they go on my team. The reason I do this is to try and counteract our next roadblock, which is very fastly approaching.
Vortex Shield online.
You've got to be kidding me. The game wants us to use our Vortex Shield to reflect the bullets back to our targets, which by the rules is not allowed. And the Spectres I hacked, yeah, they don't do anything. I even try Vortex Shielding the bullets and not reflecting it back at them, but it's no use. I have to kill the enemies with the reflection. What makes matters worse is after this, I have to use the rocket pods to shoot the targets. It's over. You know, this is technically a tutorial. Okay, I promise this is the last time I use this excuse. We technically aren't allowed to progress until we do these things, and the game is teaching us, so I'll let it slide. But if you think it doesn't count, then I use the Vortex Shield for damage 3 times, killing around 16 enemies, and I use the rocket pods once to kill 3 enemies. Once we actually gain control again, we are faced with our first enemy Titan. And he nearly This challenge is gonna get interesting. On to level 2, Blood and Rust. We can skip ahead a bit in the level to face these two tones, which do cause us a little bit of trouble. However, if we can split them up, then we can take them down pretty easily. Then you play the level as normal. I do want to mention the slide hopping mechanic though. Basically, this mechanic makes me more nimble and fast. To slide hop, just hold down the slide key and jump. I also want to mention the flood pump part. You have to kill enemies for the pump to shut down. You'd think the ticks would make this an issue, however, all you have to do is bait them to explode, and then pick off the grunt squads one by one, then it's over just like that. Now it's time to face our first boss, Kane. Yeah, he's insanely easy to beat. All you have to do is kill the Titan that spawns, and then just go for him. Now we're on to the third level, Into the Abyss. To be honest, this level is same old till the end, so we'll just skip to the part where we're in the pilot simulation. Here we have to play our cards right. We have to carefully hack all the specters, cause we need all the firepower we can get to fight the Reaper. Even still, we have to melee the Reaper as much as we can, and we have to be careful not to get meleeed ourselves or shot by it, cause we'll die very fast. Once the first one dies, we technically don't have to kill the other one, and we can just wait for the blast door to open and we can quietly escape through the place, and then we have to fight Ash. You'd think Ash being a close quarters master that this fight would be difficult, however, I beat it on my second attempt. All I have to do is go in for melees when she's wasted her abilities or reloading, and when she activates Sword Core, just run away till it ends. We give Ash a firm kick of respect, then it's off to the next level, Effect and Cause. This is one of my favorite missions, and it's sad to say that we can completely skip it. There are no roadblocks at all, and I'm positive you can beat this level without killing anything. So we're just going to skip to us grabbing the giant blue orb, and we can head off to the bane of my existence and the run killer. The Beacon. Just watch. We start off this mission by getting the Ronin Titan loadout. This loadout is crazy as we get sword blocks, so no more having to avoid reflecting or accidentally damaging enemies, phase dash for another dash and a get out of jail free card, but the best part, we get a buffed up melee, the sword. Not only do we get more damage, but we also get sword core, which is the only core in the game we are allowed to use. But now we get to the bad. We'll fast forward a bit till we get to the part where you have to pick up the arc tool. This is where everything goes wrong. How the arc tool works is there are certain panels that you have to use the arc tool on to disable them. Some of these panels you can find workarounds for, but most of them you have to do, and if you argue that the arc tool is a tool and not a weapon, well, it does damage. So now we are back here. We aren't allowed to get past this fan unless we use the arc tool to turn off the panel. However, we aren't stuck here. With a well-timed slide hop, you can wall run onto this wall and make it onto the platform. Only to then be stopped by an unpassable door. We can't get past this area in any way. I try and wall run up the hole, however, I couldn't get up there due to how the hole was designed. So sadly, it is not possible to beat Titanfall 2 melee only. However, we'll continue on and see how many times we have to break this rule, and still see which levels you can beat melee only. So we are forced to shoot right here, and then forced to shoot again immediately after, as there's no way to get up to the area we need to go. We have to shoot a total of 5 more times during this single section. Then you'd think we're home free, right?
3, 2, 1, go!
You've got to be kidding me. We are forced to shoot 88 more targets. Technically, we only shoot down twice, but I'm going to count it on the targets hit. We then only have to shoot one more time. You might think this section here would require the arc tool, however, with careful parkouring, you can make it. Now, we move on to the next boss, Richter.
Care to have a real fight? Let's see what you got up close and personal.
Yeah, he's a pushover. Now we are on to the next mission, Trial by Fire. One of the biggest battles in this game. Gunshots flying everywhere. Yeah, this is another case of effect and cause. We can speed through this entire mission. We technically don't even have to kill anything to my knowledge. Now we are on to the second to last mission, the Ark. This mission is a breeze up until we get to the boss fight. and this boss fight is a melee user's worst nightmare.
Voodoo 1, Viper's on station. Your journey ends here, pilot. The skies belong to me. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
This fight is tough. Not only do we have to fight two Scorches side by side, which, by the way, once they reach half health, they use Flame Core, which eats half of our HP if we don't dodge it. These Scorches do kill me a few times. However, the real issue is Viper. Once we get close to him and he's on the ground, we can use Sword Core on him and get him to half health and make him go into phase 2 and he pops a Flight Core. Only, after the Flight Core is over, he never touches the ground again. Really, man? There's literally nothing we can do here. I tried everything. No melees would reach him, flying melee doesn't work. Even if I get out of BT and let the AI shoot him, he can't even hit a shot. It's like he has the aim of a stormtrooper. Well, I have no choice. I'm forced to use a burst core and 2 max from the XO16 to take him down, making the arc impossible to beat melee only. The sad thing is, I figured out that you can melee Viper while he's struggling with BT, which I originally thought was impossible, but it's whatever. Now the bus we're on is about to drive into oncoming traffic, and me and BT try and get the spirit bomb, but we won't be able to get it in time, and BT decides that I'm too goated to die and protects me from the crash. I wake up to realize that we are on the final mission of the game, the fold weapon. Me and BT are getting mugged by the Mafia, and they take our Egg McMuffin and decide to kill BT.
Nice try, love. Say goodnight.
Not knowing what to do, I walk over to the door, only for BT to call me and hand me a Happy Meal before fully dying. The Happy Meal contains a useless gun and my ticket to escape. The mission plays as normal, and I'm told to go to the rendezvous point to be picked up. Turns out they were giving me a brand new BT. We speed blitz past everything the mission throws at us until we're faced with a final boss, Sloan.
Hey, Sloan.
When I get my hands up.
After the fight, me and BT pull on the push door a little too hard and it explodes. Then suddenly a giant toy robot spits out a random Mafia guy and gives us one of his Pokemon cards. Me and BT climb into the slingshot and BT tells me he left something in the fridge and was gonna go grab it without me. Turns out it was a bomb. I run to the Uber I called to pick me up, and that's the game. I was forced to shoot around 96 targets. The only 2 levels that weren't possible were the beacon and the arc. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I forgot to mention I played the game on regular difficulty. Thank you all for watching, and tell me down in the comments below what challenges you want to see me do next, or if you want to see me attempt this challenge on the hardest difficulty. And also, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content from me, then make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you later.